Transformer fans? Once again, it's the one and only Optibotimus coming at you with another video review. And on today's episode, thanks to all of your support, especially those of you that are Optibotimus Plus channel members, we're going to be taking a look at the new Transformers Studio Series Voyager class Cheetor, as he appears in the upcoming Transformers Rise of the Beast film. Now, as of right now, we don't know a ton about the plot for Transformers Rise of the Beasts. As of right now, we've only seen one teaser, but in it, we do see Cheetor looking absolutely incredible and big. And I feel like this guy really does kind of capture that look that we've seen so far in the film. For the package, much like all the Studio Series figures, it is this new package-free packaging, plastic-free packaging, which means there is no plastic. So you have an open window right there. Of course, you got the Transformers text with the Generation logo. You got the Transformers Rise of the Beast logo up there. You can see that he is the 98th figure in the Studio Series line. And then when you come to the side, you got an up-close image of his cheetah head, I guess. And I love the way that his claws down here look. Other side here has a more pullback image of him in his robot mode. And I really do like how his robot mode head here, and you can even kind of see it right there, really does have a very cat-like look. I dig that. When you come around to the back of the package, you can see that he transforms in 24 steps. Got images of him in his robot and his beast mode. And of course, because this is a Studio Series figure, you do get the backdrop. And then you got a little bit of a read-up right here that says, Cheetor and the Maximals team up with the Autobots to protect the Transwarp Key. Again, what is the Transwarp Key? We're going to find out in the future. But for the packaging on this guy, that's about it. So without further ado, let's get him out here and see how cool he actually is. And here we have the new Transformers Rise of the Beast Voyager class Cheetor opened up out of his packaging, and obviously in his beast mode. And you know, I actually really like what they did here. There are some aspects of him that I think could have been done differently, especially how good some of the more modern Cheetors have been. But all in all, solid figure. And I am happy to say that this is not just a kind of retool, or I mean, like, it uses some of the same kind of engineering, specifically like around here with the legs, but it does some new stuff that I really didn't expect. Color-wise, as you can see, he's done in this kind of brownish copper color, I guess you could say. It's a decent color, but definitely has a very muddy kind of look to it. A lot of real nice paint detail around here. You can see that you can store his weapons here. You can separate these, and you got these little tabs right up there. But you got a lot of nice paint elements that give that kind of spotted look that a cheetah would have. Coming in to take a closer look at him, again, you can see a lot of those paint details throughout the back section here with the head. Kind of disappears when you get along the side of him, honestly, and you can see that there is a lot of mechanical looking stuff on him. One thing that we've kind of seen already in that one teaser is that, yeah, they have beast modes, but they still definitely look mechanical, which is interesting. Really like the face detail on there. You can see you got green eyes on the inside. You can open his mouth if you want to, but there's no real paint detail on the inside there. That's definitely unfortunate, and his mouth is kind of funny looking, to be honest, but you can see some nice sculpted in hair, I guess, throughout the head. And, I mean, in general, he's a good-looking cheetah. Just like I said, doesn't really have a lot of that same kind of real animal look like, for example, this guy. And you can see, size-wise, I mean, obviously, the position of the legs is a little bit different. But you can see, obviously, this is a deluxe size figure, so he's going to be smaller. But you can see that he does get considerably bigger, which is something that, again, you can really see in that clip, especially in that one scene where you see Cheetor running alongside Bumblebee. And this looks about right. I mean, Bumblebee's in the foreground and Cheetor's in the background, and he's running along. And that looks pretty darn close, if you ask me. And I love that. I think it's really very cool that, you know, these Beast characters are fairly large. They definitely don't have much of a disguise, to be honest, but they are really fun looking. Now, in terms of his articulation in this mode, this is probably where I think he suffers. So the head can rotate around, just like that. Doesn't really go up and down. I mean, there's a little bit of up and down, but really it's not meant for it. I showed you the mouth can open. I don't like the way that these arms look here. I wish they could be spread out a little bit more to give it a little bit more a realistic kind of look to it. As it is, it just... Something about these front legs just look weird to me. I'm not the biggest fan of them. These back legs are fine because these are going to become his legs in robot mode as well. So you got the little hip section right here that can kind of move it out, and then there's a ball joint. So you can spread that out. I do wish, like, much like this Cheetor, I mean, you can get his arms spread out, and it just looks cooler to be able to kind of do that. And they're further apart. This, maybe it's just because of how close they are. I don't know, but it definitely looks weird, I think. The tail can hinge up and down as part of the transformation. Like I said, you do have the hips back here. You do have this back knee, and then you have this little other knee, and then the ankles move forward and back, and those also pivot. So lots of articulation in the back legs, not so much here in the front legs, which it is what it is. Transformation, though, first what you're going to want to do is take this, kind of separate this. It plugs into his butt and it literally just sits there. It doesn't really tab in securely, so just kind of lift this up. This is going to go all the way up. You just get that out of the way. Straighten these legs out down here, and then hinge all of this, straightening everything there. Fold out the toe, and then take this back section. You want to detach this. This is going to swivel down and create his shin section. Then rotate the leg at the upper part of the knee. Do that on this side as well. So we're just straightening all this, just like that. Take this, pull this away, pull that down, sit that down there, rotate that guy around. Make sure that that's fully collapsed in. So now you have his lower legs done, which super, super easy, but you can see similar to what we've seen before, but different, which is nice. Get that kind of out of the way. These little bits right here are going to tab in onto the side, so just fold these out. Then you can straighten that out and then bring this down. Do that on this side as well. Detach this from the side of the head. Rotate that, and just, again, get that kind of out of the way. Take this little piece here. You want to push that all the way up and then pull the back section away. And then you can also bring forward the front section. Take the beast head, tuck that down, collapse that up, bring out the robot head, collapse that, and then literally you're just kind of straightening everything up. Bring the tail up. That's just going to rest on his back right there. These little side pieces, where they are, they're on the side here. You want to rotate these around, and then bring that around and rotate his fist. Kind of just tuck that down like that. Do that on this side as well. Rotate these little side bits around. Rotate that. Now, a lot of times I see people just kind of leaving these down like that. I don't like that. I like actually lifting these up, kind of where this is going to go. Just kind of angle those out. I think it looks cooler to have those slightly angled out like that, as opposed to just having them straight down. That doesn't look that good. I like kind of flaring them, giving them some extra dimension to them. But when you're done, very simple transformation, but there you have a really cool looking Cheetor in his robot mode. And this guy really is very cool looking, very simple, but realistically, I would be very surprised at how they're going to be able to improve upon this, because you know that eventually we're going to get a improved version of this character. You know, obviously the Studio Series line is meant to kind of give us that big screen inspired look, and this is one that I really have a hard time seeing them being able to do better even in the future. He just looks really very, very good. Now, as you can see, his weapons, you can have them all. I actually kind of like doing it like that. It seems a little bit more like a cool weapon. But you can also plug these in, and you can create a bit of a spear for him. Now, to be able to do this, you need to, and one thing in particular, you do have to plug this in a very specific way. It's keyed in a certain way. So what you'll want to do, if you want to do the spear weapon, just kind of plug that through there, come around to the underside here, and you can see that the actual hole for his fist is fairly shallow. So just take that in there, and you can just plug that in. And you have a bit of a spear weapon for him, which, you know, I just get, like, the feeling that these Beast Wars characters have been in hiding and on Earth for a very long time and just kind of hanging out there and really just keeping, you know, to themselves, I guess. And this just seems like very warrior in a jungle kind of look, which I think looks really cool. So I really do dig this spear weapon form, but you can use both if you wanted to. But you can see that he does get to be a pretty good size. Bringing in that other Cheetor that I had later on, obviously, again, this is a deluxe size figure, so he's going to be considerably smaller, and he's more designed to fit with what the other Earthrise generations classic figures are meant to kind of scale with. So he's going to be a little bit smaller. Bringing in Airazor, who is also a deluxe figure, but you can see that even Airazor does get to be a little bit bigger than the deluxes that we have going on here. So again, size-wise, I think that this works really well and looks good together. With that being said, even when you bring in that Bumblebee figure that we've already gotten released, you can see that this guy is wee, even by comparison to that Cheetor. This guy is super tiny, and honestly, again, I hope that this stays accurate. Obviously, Cheetor, you could see in that opening trailer, was very large. I kind of like that, honestly. In the original Beast Wars series, the Beast characters were actually considerably smaller than the Autobots. And you can see it in the scenes with, like, the G1 Megatron, G1 Optimus. So it's an interesting kind of twist that it seems like the Beast ones now are the bigger of the two characters. For me, that's just kind of fun. And then for another comparison, here is that Transformers Bumblebee Optimus. So again, you can see that even though that he's a Voyager and he's a Voyager, Optimus is a little bit bigger. So again, I feel like the scaling here is pretty good. I am certainly curious to see how big both Optimus Primal and Rhinox will be, because a Rhino, and even to a degree a gorilla, is going to be bigger than a cheetah. Coming in to take a closer look at the details on this guy, though, you can see a lot of great paint applications. Again, you got the little cheetah print throughout here. You see a little bit more great detail with that head sculpt. One thing I absolutely love about that is it really does have a very cat-like look. That original Beast Wars Cheetor looks very much like a cat as well. It's just like this, just looks more like it. I love this gorgeous gunmetal color throughout there. It gives it a very nice reflective look to him. He does clean up very, very nicely. That's one thing that I really am impressed with as well. There's not like a lot of robot junk, or I'm sorry, cheetah junk hanging out. I mean, he's got these little claw arms right here, but I mean, that might just be accurate. You do get a little bit more of that cheetah print down here on his thighs. Got some more of that gray throughout here. You can see a little bit of that cheetah print on his upper biceps. I do kind of wish there was a little bit more, like specifically like down here with the rest of the legs and everything, even on the thighs would be good. But all in all, it looks really good and comes across very, very nicely. And the color, like I said, is really very, very nice on him. For his articulation, the head is on a ball joint, so you get a pretty good range of motion. Looks up and down a little, left and right and all that. Gorgeous green eyes as well. The shoulders here do rotate. You do have this extra hinge kind of as part of the transformation, but then you have this hinge right down here. But I don't feel like this one is meant to really hinge, just maybe just some extra posing or something like that. But this is the main articulation for the shoulder itself. And like I said, you kind of lift this up, and that kind of, at least for me, puts these in a pretty good position. You do have a rotation at the upper part of the bicep. You have a bend here at the elbow. The wrist, as part of the transformation, obviously do rotate around. And then you come down to the waist. You do have a waist rotation, but the way that the butt flap there is, you kind of have to move it away. If it's completely down, it's going to move it around. So just kind of lift that up, and you can still rotate that around. The hips move forward and back. In and out, they rotate. Do they rotate up here? They don't. No, they don't rotate there. They do rotate just above the knee, and then you have a knee bend right there as well. So you get a lot of articulation there. The ankles kind of move forward and back, not a lot, but you do have ankle tilt. I do kind of wish that the front feet were a little bit bigger. I mean, I think that that looks a little bit better. You can't really articulate the leg backwards, though. I do kind of like that, though. With how big that is, because you can see that that's a little bit smaller. I do wish he had a bit more of a forward portion of the foot than a backwards portion of it, but that's neither here nor there. But all in all, Really stellar looking. He looks amazing. I do kind of wish, now that I'm playing with him, I mean, you rotate the leg. I do kind of wish that he could rotate here at the thigh, but it's not too terribly bad. But really very nice figure. Very fun. Very cool looking. Transformation is very simple. Back, you're going to open up both of these halves like that. Tuck his head down like so. Pull this head out. And then you want to take this little piece here and fold that out just a little bit. Then you're going to collapse this. Collapse this. Now, this kind of comes down, and you want to make sure you shift that all the way down, because you need to take this. There's a little tab here that you can kind of see right there. That's going to lock in here. Bring these up, and this hinges around. And this can get a little bit tricky just to kind of get everything lined up with what you need. So that's going to come in and then clip right there. Do that on this side as well. So again, collapse all this and then fold this in. And then line that little bit just like that. Super easy. Take these, rotate these out to the side on both sides. Oops. And then you want to rotate these around and bring out the fists. So now you have his, rotate that around and bring his fist out. And now you have his front legs done. Come down here, kind of get this up out of the way. Lift up the shin piece. And then you're going to bring the leg all the way forward and rotate this around. And then this is going to collapse up, and there's a little tab right here that locks things in. Just kind of find that. Give that a good push. And then bend that back. Bend that forward. Fold up the foot. Just like that. And you're getting the leg where you need it to be. So again, do that on this side. This. Rotate the knee. Bring him down here at the hip. Fold this all the way up. Lock that in. Fold this all the way back. Then bend that forward. Fold out the foot. And then take this. Push that down. Just kind of lock that down. And there you have him back in his cheetah mode. So very simple transformation. For Voyager, some people might complain about it because he's not overly complex, but I still think he looks really cool. I really do. I mean, could he look like this? Kind of looks a little bit ugly. There are definitely some aspects that I think could have been done a little bit better on him, but all in all, I'm happy with the overall execution of this guy. He's cool looking. He definitely looks, from what we've seen in the film, looks how he looked in that one scene that we saw where he's running around. But like I said, I can't really imagine them doing a better job with this guy. Maybe getting a way where you could like bring his arms out a little bit more, something like that. I don't know. For the most part, he's a good looking toy. He really is. I don't know too much about it. I mean, obviously we haven't seen the movie yet, so we don't know how prominent of a role he's going to have in the film. But I'm quite excited and happy with how this guy turned out. He is a really fun looking figure, and I know we're going to be getting another version of him, not as part of the studio series, just as part of the regular Rise of the Beast line. But obviously this is going to be designed to be a little bit more accurate looking. So, you know, the whole studio series things came around after the last Transformer movie. So I feel like it's a little bit tricky because you're going to have a mainline for this, and then the studio series one. So why would you want to get the mainline one when the studio series one is supposed to look better and more accurate? I don't know. And if you wanted to, in robot mode, you could store these in the exact same spot. All in all, though, I like the figure. I think he turned out really well. He's definitely got the look that Cheetor has from what we've already seen. So I would recommend him. I really would. I think that he turned out very, very nicely. So all that being said, if the new Transformers Rise of the Beast Studio Series Voyager class Cheetor is one that you would like to add to your collection, he is hitting various retail locations right now. Or you can do the real simple thing and go online to places like Big Bad Toy Store or even Entertainment Earth. For both of those places, I'll put links right down there in the video description, where you can swing on over there and check out availability on him as well as the rest of the wide range of Transformer figures. And as a special bonus for you guys, if you choose to go the route of Entertainment Earth, when you click that link in the video description, you will automatically get free shipping on orders over a certain amount, as well as automatically saving 10% off of any in-stock order that you place, helping help you guys save some money and at the same time show some support for my channel. And finally guys, please remember that the real trouble with the world is that too many people grow up. Thank you all so much for tuning in and watching. And until next time, this is Optibotimus saying adios, au revoir, and auf Wiedersehen.